You know, one of my favorite video game consoles, I talk about it on the channel regularly, is the Nintendo Switch. Now, I know for some of you, that's a sin greater than death, because you were here for the retro games, and yeah, I mean, look, I love retro games. Retro gaming is one of my favorite things. I mean, you guys can kind of see what's going on behind me over here, but I like modern games too. I love modern consoles, and right now my favorite of the modern consoles is the Nintendo Switch because of the versatility it offers, because of the different play styles it offers, because of the really just Nintendo-ness of it all. Now that said, there are some glaring weaknesses that the Switch has, and there are some things that I think you need to invest in to make your experience with the Switch better. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay. Welcome to Square Pegs. Today we're talking accessories for the Nintendo Switch, 5 that I think are must-own, and there might even be a bonus one in here. I haven't decided yet. So one of the first things that I purchased, and this was after seeing, I'm pretty sure it was Metal Jesus talk about this, is the Marseille M Classic. Now, what is the Marseille M Classic? It is a video upscaler. Now, I think we all understand that the biggest issue that the Nintendo Switch has is that it's not really a graphical powerhouse. It doesn't output in 4K. It doesn't display the most beautiful imagery of all. I mean, there's plenty of cases of games downscaling their visuals just because the power isn't there. The Marseille M Classic kind of helps answer that question. This is something that takes a 720p feed, which is what they suggest you set it at on the Switch, and puts it out to a 1440p feed. And it looks fantastic. It's something that I have used ever since I first saw this. I immediately jumped onto Amazon and picked this up because it was something that I thought was a necessity. It was something I needed to have on my Switch because it just makes everything look better. Now, the nice thing I have found about this is that it's not just kind of designed strictly for the Nintendo Switch. It'll actually make a lot of things look better. You can really upscale anything through it that has an HDMI input, which is really kind of cool. I actually really dig that. It does require external power. It uses a USB micro to a USB-A cord. That's easy enough. Just plug it in and it's good to go, and it looks fantastic. I do think this is a wonderful option and a great addition really for anyone that has more than just like a standard desktop TV. Like, I tend to run things on a smaller TV here in the game room, but when I'm actually playing on the Switch downstairs on the 80-inch TV, I want to have it outputting nicely and looking good on my 4K, because otherwise it just looks a little blown out. It doesn't look that great. But the M Classic helps answer that problem. It's a great pickup. Now, I will tell you most of the things on this list, I will have links to them down in the description. They are going to be affiliate links. They're not going to cost you anything extra. They do help the channel out, so if you're interested in helping out in any way, be sure to click those, take a look at them. Next up, not something that is going to have an affiliate link, but is a controller that I have found to be absolutely revelatory and something that I think is worthwhile going to GameStop for. These are the CandyCon controllers. Now, these are pro-style controllers, and I really dig them. They've got Hall effect sensors, they got Hall effect joysticks, great shoulder buttons, and they're just nice to use. They work great for fighting games. They work great for really kind of any game I've played them on. They work great on platformers, which is really nice, and they're fantastic for retro games as well. So they're great for your Nintendo Switch Online games or any of the Sega Ages or Arcade Archives games. They just work, and they're fantastic. Now, why am I making a big deal about this? Because it is just, at the end of the day, yet another Pro Controller clone that is on sale. First off, they're incredibly affordable. The wireless base controller is $35, and that's great. You can also buy fully kitted out ones that have different looks to them, but the thing I really like about them is this. They're customizable. You can swap the faces. You can swap out the sticks. You can swap out the D-pad. And you're able to put on ones that they sell that are options. So you can get this to be completely customizable and be exactly the way you want it to be. There's a variety of colors. It's really great. If you prefer glossy, you can do that. If you prefer matte like me, you've got that option as well. And like I said, they also sell fully kitted out ones that are different color combinations that look really nice. So you're able to get one of those for, I think, 45 bucks or 50 bucks, and you've got a great controller to toss in. No, they're not a replacement for the standard Switch Pro controller, but they are a great Player 2 controller, and they're a great backup one to just have in your backpack if you travel a lot. And one of the really cool things, it's all magnets. That's how it connects. Everything's magnetized to the face. Love this controller. I think it's fantastic. Oh, and it's got macro buttons on the back too. Next up, I do strongly urge people to use OEM products, because when it is built by Nintendo, for Nintendo, from Nintendo, you know it's just going to work. It's going to be something that is going to function with your Nintendo Switch. It's not going to give you any issues. And that's typically the way I tell people to go with it. But there are certain occasions where I think stepping outside of those boundaries isn't a bad idea. For example, the Awesome Dock here. Now, I've covered this on the channel in the past. I have a link on the card right now so you can take a look at it. And the nice thing about this one is not only is it compact, this fits great in a backpack for travel, it also flips up before you put the actual switch, clamps down. But the thing I love about this is that it has different ports on the back where you can plug in different games so you can swap between them either by using a remote or just pressing this nice tactile button on the top. It's a really great device. It's something that I have used regularly. It is the thing I have my Switch hooked up to all the time here in the game room. I just think it's great. It's a fantastic little dock, and there's plenty of portable dock options out there. I'll have a few links down below for you to take a look at different price point ones, different descriptions, different styles, things like that. But for my money, this is my favorite one. This is the one that works the best for me. And it works great with the Marseille, so really nice there. Okay, going to do the bonus one now. I've decided it's going to happen, so this is actually going to be 6 must-own Switch accessories. And this one is super simple. This is one that I bought once my collection passed, I think, 70 games. It was something where I went, you know what? I want to have something where I can bring my games with me. The little kind of small cards that come in all these different carrying cases aren't necessarily the best ones. Ooh, I think we're going to have 7 now that I've said that. The ones that come in those carrying cases, though, don't necessarily work the best. You can only get 4 games in them, so you're only really carrying 9 games with you at all times if you have one in the Switch as well. But this one here is something that I really like, because this is not only just like a really nice folio. I think it looks good. It's got my peanut butter and jelly Joy-Cons on there, but it holds 64 games. It holds 64 games admirably well. This is a soft foam in here, so everything just kind of slides in, stays in place, doesn't fall out. I toss this thing in my bag everywhere I go. This has gone with me to conventions. It's gone with me on camping trips. It's going with me on a cruise in October. It is a great accessory to have, especially if you're like me and you can never focus on one game at a time. This is a great option to have for you to have a bunch of different games with you at all times to be able to play them. And it's affordable. It's not much money at all. Link will be in the description. Now, much to my friend Gary from Rock Solid's Productions' chagrin and dismay, I'm going to talk to you about a controller that I love, that I know he is not a huge fan of the things that they make or the way they do their business, I think is probably the best way to put it. But for me, I love a retro-styled controller. I've talked to you about the CandyCon controller today. I want to talk to you now about a controller I've had since I think the first 6 months of owning my Nintendo Switch, so all the way back in 2017 when it launched. This is the 8BitDo SN30 Pro. Obviously, this is a Super Nintendo-style controller. This is my go-to controller for Nintendo Switch Online games or any Arcade Archives titles. I even played Mario Kart with this thing because it just works so well. I love the thumbsticks on the front. They're great. It's got every bit of functionality on here that you would want from a controller on the Nintendo Switch, minus NFC reading. And honestly, if we're not going to get NFC reading for Amiibo, I'm fine. I will live. It's not a big deal. Is this an ideal controller for something like Smash? No, not at all. But for retro-styled games or for racing games, things like that, this is a perfect fit. It's amazing for fighting games too. I use this religiously for the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. It is perfect for that. I love a good carrying case. A carrying case is imperative for the Nintendo Switch. There's a bunch of different carrying case options you can get. This one right here is a clutch-style carrying case. This is my wife's. You can tell because it's got the Zelda emblem on it. That's her favorite thing. And these are great because even if you happen to toss them into your bag and you forget to zip it up, the Velcro in place holds it. It's not going to fall out. It's going to be protected. It is a great little case. It's nice because it's also got a spot in there for the 8 games that I was mentioning with my gigantic folio. Meredith doesn't have video game ADHD like I do, so she doesn't necessarily have to worry about it so much. I'm going to show you this in B-roll as well. The nice thing about this is it also works really well as a stand for your Switch. So you can stand it up in the case and play tabletop gaming that way. Now with the OLED, it's not such a big deal because the kickstand is really nice, but if you have an original style Switch, this is a great way to stand it up for tabletop gameplay. Of course, there's also the way I carry my Switch when I go away, and it isn't by just a little clutch case. It is this gigantic backpack here. Now this is something I've had I think since 2018, so it is beat up, it is hurt, it is bruised, it is battered. It is also brilliant. This does so much so well. It has spaces on the inside, and I'll show this to you in B-roll. It's got a ton of spaces on the inside where you're able to store Joy-Cons, where you can put your dock, where you can put your Pro Controller, your Switch itself, the power cords, HDMI cables, all of it. It has different spaces. I load this thing up when I go on trips. I pack all of my electronics in it. It goes with me everywhere, and it has been incredibly reliable for me. If you've been to a convention and you've seen me at a show, you know this backpack is with me because this is the one I always have. This is the one I'm always using. It is a magnificent little case and something I use religiously. Okay, we're doing another bonus one that I just kind of thought of. And this is thanks to my friends at Extreme Rate. Now, Extreme Rate stuff you can find on Amazon. Links will be down below. And one of the things that I love about Extreme Rate is that they make replacement shells and cases for things like the Nintendo Switch, for Switch Joy-Cons, and for the Switch Pro Controller. And I want to show you the reshell my wife did on her Switch OLED. It is, and you can see here how beautiful this looks. Just the Tears of the Kingdom style design, and it gets better on the back. It is absolutely stunning. It's got the gold buttons on the top. The kickstand works beautifully well. It kicks out just like that, just like a standard OLED, and it is absolutely remarkable. We've been using Extreme Rate stuff for years. She has been doing Joy-Con reshells since I think 2019, and we love their work. These are the shells that we used when we did our Joy-Con reshelling workshop in the Midwest Gaming Classic this year. I cannot suggest Extreme Rate enough. They do things for all kinds of systems. The Switch are just the ones that we personally prefer. It allows you the opportunity to add a little bit of personalization to your system. It's not a must-own accessory by any stretch of the imagination, but all of these shells are really easy to do. There are instructions on YouTube for you to follow along with. They're just great. I cannot suggest anything from Extreme Rate enough. I think that's all of it, with the exception of one thing. Now, I've talked about this app. I've talked about this on the channel in the past. It is one of the only things that I say is a necessity for any Nintendo Switch fan to own, because it is really the perfect accessory. It does everything incredibly well. And they make this for both the OLED and the standard Switch release, and it is the fixture grip. The fixture grip is the ultimate way to play a handheld Switch. The biggest problem I have playing handheld on the Nintendo Switch is the Joy-Con. The Joy-Con is just not a great controller. I think we all understand that. But I love my Pro Controller. I love being able to use the Pro Controller, and the way that the fixture grip is designed is for your Pro Controller to slot right into the grip itself. It holds the controller in place, the Switch itself attaches to the grip, and you're able to play just like this with your Switch right in front of you in handheld mode. It is balanced well, it is not too heavy. It's an incredible experience playing a game like this. And better yet, it's not hard to pop it off the Pro Controller. And this thing, I'll show you this in B-roll, this thing works incredibly well as a handheld stand. You can just put it on your desktop and play that way. I'm actually really looking forward to using this when I go on my work trip this October, because this is gonna go right on my tray table as I'm flying. There you have it, my friends. My must-own Nintendo Switch accessories, with a few bonuses tossed in that I was not anticipating doing at the start of this video, but I think it was fun. I think it was really cool. There's all kinds of amazing stuff that you can get that is not a necessity to own if you're a Nintendo Switch owner, but there are great additions to add to a collection. Stuff like Amiibo aren't necessary, but they're really cool figureheads to have. There's Amiibo stands, there are different Switch docks, there are controllers, there are accessories aplenty. Let me know in the comments down below what you think are the must-own Nintendo Switch accessories. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Let me know in the comments down below as well if you'd like to see a tutorial on how to do a Joy-Con reshell. We've been kicking around doing that. Let me know. Until next time, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.